GoPros, if you don't know what a GoPro is, it's basically just a small camera that is like portable and yeah, waterproof. I guess that's it. Or maybe dust proof and stuff. Anyway, we're going to see best moments. Well, some of the. Is it best moments? I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. Top moments caught on the GoPros.
Subway surfers. Brian Garcia and a bunch of his friends decided to go exploring one day. They brought their GoPro along with them, in the off chance that they come across something strange or exciting. At first, everything looked normal. The footage only showed the group just walking around, and it's kind of boring if I'm speaking honestly. That is until they chanced upon a railroad tunnel. Someone in the group must have had the bright idea to walk through the tunnel. I think it's pretty obvious what the dangers are in this kind of undertaking. You know, trains, and you never think of the danger. And they went forward anyway. About halfway into the tunnel, they heard the exact sound that they didn't want to hear. An oncoming train. Frightened out of their wits, the group ran back to where they came from, just barely making it to the exit before the train came barreling through. They were impossibly lucky to have escaped unscathed. But I bet they wouldn't be walking through any tunnels anytime soon after that. Number 9. Is that a monkey?
Yo. Number 10 for me is the best. I'm not going to finish the video. Or maybe top moment. Like, bro, how lucky are those guys? Just how lucky are they to make it out of the tunnel before the train?
Uploaded to the Bexwin Production YouTube channel. It shows a guy strapping on his GoPro to his bike, obviously wanting to capture footage of him riding his bike. As he pedals his way along a narrow concrete bike path, you see nothing but the path itself and the scenery around him. Then he came upon a narrow alleyway. It was here when something really shocking happened. While riding through the alleyway, a strange animal jumped from the left side wall right onto the biker's path. The rider was clearly startled, but still managed to avoid running over the strange creature. The biker stopped to look back at the creature to find out what it was, but when he did, the creature was gone. Some people have analyzed the footage and have come to the conclusion that the unknown creature was a monkey. I do admit the creature does look like a monkey, but what's with the extremely tiny waist, and why is it completely hairless? What do you think it is? Don't tell us in the comments.
Like, it is kind of a monkey, but I think it's more of a... I wouldn't say chimp. No, it's not a chimp. Maybe it's a llama. King Julian out on the streets.
Comment section down below.
Yeah, but maybe
Number 8. Mid-air collision. The next footage you're about to see looks like it should belong to an action movie. But let me tell you, this is 100% real and actually happened in real life. 12,000 feet above Superior, Wisconsin, 2 small aircraft were flying, carrying a total of 11 people. 9 skydivers and the 2 pilots. All they were expecting was a fairly routine skydive when disaster struck, and every terrifying minute was caught in their helmet-mounted GoPro cameras. The 2 planes inexplicably flew too close to each other, collided in midair, causing one of the planes to lose one of its wings and crash to the ground. The other, although damaged, there were no casualties that resulted from the accident, and everyone involved only needed treatment for minor injuries. Number 7. An insane backflip. Now this is what GoPros were actually made for. Since its release, adrenaline junkies have found ways to strap these tiny cameras onto themselves in order to give us experiences normally only they could have. That was probably what Kelly McGarry was thinking prior to his extreme mountain bike run in the 2013 Red Bull Rampage. He strapped on a GoPro to his helmet and gave us an experience of a lifetime. If you don't know what the Red Bull Rampage is, it's basically a mountain biking competition wherein competitors ride their bikes down a mountain through treacherous terrain, also requiring them to jump ridiculously long gaps. Now Kelly here, he wasn't really satisfied at just jumping these gaps. That would be too easy. Instead he opted to do a backflip while jumping these gaps. One of the gaps was 72 feet long, making it already quite insane to land a normal jump. But Kelly did an incredible backflip, and we can experience how it feels thanks to Kelly's GoPro. The entire run is uploaded to GoPro's YouTube channel, where it's garnered 177 million views so far. Number 6. Water landing.
So it's just a normal backflip on a bike in mountains. It's not really that much, like.
On December 11th of 2013, a Cessna 28B departed from the Kalapapa airport on the island of Molokai. 2 minutes into the flight, the plane suffered from engine failure and had to do an emergency water landing. The entire thing was caught on GoPro. In the footage, you can clearly hear the warning beeps of the plane, signifying engine failure. You can also clearly see the plane tilting onto its side before finally landing on the water. What's amazing about the footage is the calm demeanor of the passengers themselves. No one even gave a shout of panic, to the point that the entire ordeal was eerily quiet. All the passengers and crew were able to don life vests and were able to exit the doomed plane before it sank into the ocean. Unfortunately, there was one fatality. A passenger who mistakenly wore an infant's life vest, which was rated only for 35 pounds. The rest of the passengers and crew were rescued by the Coast Guard 80 minutes later. Number 5. Attack of the Yak. Mountain biking.
I'm honestly so sorry for that person, for that one person. But so the person wore a life vest that's like for kids, and he couldn't. Oh, okay. Honestly.
Is awesome. Although I've yet to try it, it does look really fun to do. And we owe thanks to people strapping down GoPros before barreling down mountainsides. This next clip would have been one of those amazing pieces of footage that would convince me to go try mountain biking. But for one very terrifying thing. No, it's not the steep drops or the slippery trails where one misstep could send you down the mountainside. It's actually if a wild animal attack.
You know what? Actually, let's continue with the video.
This piece of footage was taken by a group of mountain bikers going down the slopes of one of the mountains in Tibet, which are known for a few things: the extreme cold, nomads, and yaks. These poor riders came into contact with all three, with the yak being particularly harrowing. The yak came from the rider's blind side and was completely a surprise. It charged the rider, who was fortunately able to dismount and use the bike as a barrier between him and the angry animal. The rider was eventually able to back off and ride away safely, though. It is a good thing that this was a fake out. If it decided to push through with it, this amazing trip could have ended in tragedy. Number 4. Beat up by a baby moose. In this clip, you'll see a full-grown man attacked by a cute baby moose. Yes, you heard me right. A baby moose. Unfortunately, I can't find any substantial backstory for this clip. Whether the moose was accidentally caught in a trap or it was intentionally caught for a scientific research, we don't really know. The clip starts with a man trying to set the baby moose free. But as soon as it's free, instead of running into the nearby woods, it immediately trampled the man. Now, getting trampled itself isn't that funny, it's actually quite mean. However, the one-liners that the man spews out are pretty priceless. From first time I ever got beat up by a baby moose to no call and being nasty. These statements literally mitigated the brevity of the situation. Number 3. Stuck in a cave. In this video, 10-year caving veteran Bob Johnson, along with a few of his friends, were exploring the Lost John's Cave, which is part of the largest and most intricate cave systems in Britain. He and his friends had been exploring the cave for around 3 hours already when they came upon a narrow part of the cave called the Tube. Bob, who came in second to squeeze into the narrow gap, was the biggest...
No. Hold on. First of all, you guys are exploring a cave. Okay, people do explore caves, I get it. But then you can clearly see that space is so narrow. And the other thing, it's called the tomb. Like, that's the name for a reason. I'm pretty sure it's... Okay, I'm just... No. Like, bro.
The group and got stuck in the narrow pass. Initially, the group found his predicament pretty hilarious. That was until they saw that water was quickly rising around Bob. Fortunately, he was successfully pulled out by his friends, and they opted to continue exploring the cave, but using a different route. Instead of being put off caving due to this harrowing experience, Bob still caves to this day, something that I'm probably never gonna do in the near future. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Fortunately, this photo actually never happened, but rather it's a clever editing job using the movie poster for The Meg, which starred Jason Statham as the basis. But that's not to say that there aren't any near misses with sharks filmed on GoPro. Speaking of which, number 2. A really close call. Diving off the coast of South Africa comes with great white risks. Namely, the area is notorious for being the swimming grounds of great white sharks. Still, the area is perfect for underwater activities such as scuba diving and spearfishing, so the area still attracts a ton of tourists, despite the sharks being in ever-present danger. Thankfully, the GoPro YouTube channel kindly reminds us of that. Spear fisherman Johan Potgieter had an extremely close encounter with one of these vicious predators, and was all filmed by his GoPro. Barely minutes into his dive, a great white shark can be seen swimming into view from Johan's left. He was so surprised by this you can even hear his muffled scream, but the shark hasn't finished with him yet. It came swimming straight towards Johan, but was fortunately forced to swim away by the sharp tip of Johan's spear gun. Johan, of course, swam back to the surface as fast as he could, but as soon as he broke the surface, he looked down to see the shark swimming beneath him. Fortunately, the tip of his spear gun was pointed downwards, making the shark think twice before attacking. Johan's friends came to his rescue and pulled him to the safety of the boat. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually... Thank God for the helmet. There are a million reasons why being a soldier is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Soldiers literally put their life on the line every single day that...
I actually saw this one. Bro, this one... where do I rank this one? Is it really above the train? The train though. Cause the train was like... It's like you would easily just give up, like, cause you can't really outrun it, but the other guys were lucky enough. Oh, this is okay. So what happens here is that he gets scraped by a bullet, I think. So I'm not sure if I think the train one is still top for me, or maybe this. You know,
they are deployed, as this one extremely lucky Marine found out while on a routine patrol duty in Afghanistan. The entire thing was filmed by the helmet cam of one of the soldiers on patrol, and they could be seen going through a series of tunnels of some sort, when all of a sudden a bullet streaks and hits one of the soldiers' helmets. Realizing that there was a sniper in the area, the team made a hasty retreat to assess the situation. If you look at the footage closely, you can clearly see the moment of the bullet hitting the helmet. Thank God the soldier was wearing one, and he did live to tell his story. Do you know of any other amazing things filmed on GoPro?
The first one and the last one, those are like my two favorite moments from this video. Right, so that was top 10 moments caught on GoPro. And the funny thing is this top 5, this channel is top 5. Why do they keep posting top 10 videos? Honestly, I mean, yeah, I guess they also do what they want. But yeah, you can also put your views in the comments down below. Let's engage. And yeah, this is the end of the video. Obviously, like the video, and if you are not yet subscribed, do subscribe. This is the amount of people who watch my videos who are subscribed and who are not subscribed, obviously. But yeah, it's been Sam, and I'm signing out.